Hello, this is Revered Audio, and I'm giving you a very powerful tool to get to know your hearing and also to get to know both your room and your audio system. So if you have multiple audio setups or multiple speakers or amps, you can test all of them to your heart's desire. And you can just go first to my channel, go to the listening impressions playlist, and in the listening impressions playlist there is a video. I didn't make this video, I just bookmarked it on my channel. So the title is 20 Hz to 20 kHz human audio spectrum, and you just click on it and play it, give it a go, and then it will ramp up from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. And I would recommend to listen to it at a medium loud level, and you will hear that the frequencies, you probably won't hear anything between 20 Hz and 30 Hz. And if you already start hearing something at 20 Hz and your system is set to a medium level, then your subwoofer is just EQ'd up to the sky, and you probably are on the way to irreversibly damage your hearing, and your system and the EQ of your setup is really atrocious. You shouldn't do that, because it means that your bass is set up way high. So when you listen to it even at a loud level, you should not hear anything below 30 Hz. So the first indication that you are listening to something, you should get around 30 Hz, provided your system can go down to 30 Hz. And then from then on, it will ramp up, and you will hear that boo going up. And then when you reach around 400 Hz, 500, then it will be very loud. And that's because the human hearing is not level. So when you hear frequencies, so all of these test tones are at the same volume, but you will hear that at 30 Hz you can barely hear it, and around 500 Hz it will be very loud, and when you get to 2 kHz it will be unbearably loud. And that's normal. So it doesn't mean that you need to adjust the bass of your system to crank it up higher, because that's how the human hearing works. For the 2-3 kHz frequencies, that's where our hearing is the most sensitive. You will hear it way louder compared to 100 Hz, and the 100 Hz will be also much louder compared to 40 Hz or 30 Hz. And that being said, so that's one experience that you can experience for yourself, the Fletcher-Munson curve. That's how it is called, the sensitivity of your ear, because that will be the most defining factor in the loudness of the frequencies you are hearing. And that's what you should be experiencing. And also, however, so one thing, number one, is that when you are hearing the frequencies, just observe what the frequencies sound like. So you can use this as a training tool to learn the sound of the frequencies. How do they sound? That's number one. And the number two is that when it starts going from low to the upper bass or mid bass around 500 Hz, then it's just steadily rising in volume. But you will notice that the rise is not steady, but it will be, sometimes you will hear dips and then it comes back, dips come back. So listen for those dips, because those dips, that will tell you where your loudspeaker and room combination and plus the amplifier, so your whole system, where does it have like ups and downs in the frequency response. And sometimes it can be quite drastic, but if you hear in the bass, like down to about 150 hertz, you will hear a bunch of these big up and downs, and that's because their or rooms have very strong personality. And above 150 hertz, the climb should be very, very steady. And in that range, when you hear ups and downs, those will be your loudspeaker and amplifiers doing. So if you hear there like a sudden increase and a sudden drop, then that's totally your speakers. And below 150 hertz, that was mostly your room interacting with everything. So there, when you hear ups and downs, it's mostly your room. And with room treatments, maybe you can do something a little bit about it. I would say room treatment plus loudspeaker placement is where you can help with that, and listening position changes. Above from that, that's mostly your loudspeaker, and also you can help a little bit with loudspeaker placement and toe-in and listening position, but not to that degree as you can have below 150 hertz. And then I'm not going to talk too much about mid-range and high frequencies, what you can hear there, how it works, because this would turn into a very, very long video, and I just want to keep it short for now, because Nelly would like to watch movies, and it means I gonna finish this on time. So what I did is just I listened to these test tones through both the Mirages and the big Altex, and in both cases, so with the Mirage, I could hear the sounds from 31 hertz and up. And then they became audible, and then they became stronger and stronger, and it was really gutsy. And the bass, like below 100 hertz, it felt more like pressure, like the room pressurizing and a pressure wave. With the Altex, it was a totally different experience. There I started hearing first auditory signs around 29 hertz, but even below that there was a presence that it felt that the walls felt a little bit different, and it kind of felt like something was happening to the room. And when it was ramping up from 30 hertz up, then it was much cleaner than what I got from the Mirages. It was like a very pure sound, but it also felt like not like the regular pressure wave that we are getting from like a regular ported cabinet, a lower efficiency drivers, that you get that that's I would say, like, people call it like a strong bass. From there, what I got was more like an airplane taking off, and it was positively scary. And Ali noticed that the neighbors must be hearing that. And it was something that as it ramped up with the wall, I could feel and hear stuff in the room resonate much better than with these guys. So and it felt more like something was happening to the room, and I didn't feel a pressure wave, but around like 30-40 hertz, it kind of felt like the room was trying to expand, and like someone was trying to knock the walls out. And when stuff started resonating with as the frequency climbed, and I hit resonances within the room, it was like positively scary. So it was a totally different experience listening to that with the two loudspeakers. And that's why I recommend for everyone to just look up this video and try it out for yourself, to experience what you hear, and regularly do this test. For one reason, to improve your hearing, how the frequencies sound, and second reason, to get more information about your room and how your loudspeakers behave with your room. You can play around with changing your loudspeakers positions and then play it again. And then the third is if you have high efficiency speakers and low efficiency speakers, or I would say these are mid efficiency, these are not low efficiency. They are 89 dB per watt meter, and these guys are 100 plus. And there's a totally different feel to how they reproduce the bass. So that's the third reason, is that if you have these different kinds of loudspeakers systems, then you can experience that just how different they reproduce bass. So thank you for tuning in. So go to my channel's homepage, listening impressions, and then 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.